one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight with everybody is how do we make this business simple? It has always been a very, very, very simple business, but if you think about it, when Charlie Ragus started this business back to, 21 years ago, there was no web at all. And so when Charlie said, shoe leather, belly-to-belly business, kitchen table business, and he meant it. That was the only way to build AdvoCare. You got on the road, you wore out your tires, you walked into appointments, you sat with people at the kitchen table, and you sparked them and used what used to be a different, set of tools, but they were much more primitive, but you showed the stories. And you got people to see that there was something that AdvoCare had to offer that could change their life when it came to products or business. And of course, your ultimate goal was always to try to show people not only the product side, but the business side. And people built dynasties doing that, right? Danny and Diane McDaniel, and Mark Lightyear, and Joe and Gloria Hadachek, and Todd and Donna Cash. They built their businesses that way. Now, fast forward 21 years. We should still be doing that. We have the web, but sometimes we believe it's overcomplicating things for the distributor, especially a hungry distributor. Because sometimes when you're really hungry, you're like, I gotta know everything that everyone is doing, and sometimes it can get where you're like using too much stuff. And so what we want to do is bring it back. So tonight's kind of just like a couple of thoughts that I had to pull everybody to a place where, hey, you know what, if you're like Karen Edwards and you still just spark people, use the magazine, flip through a presentation book, have an appointment at a kitchen table and do mixers, you could build a business. Because I really never got fully engaged in all of the stuff that was out there, because when I tried to, it overwhelmed me, okay? But I want to make sure that we're not duplicating the wrong thing, and we have a whole bunch of team members that are overwhelmed, and they're looking at a million different leaders and reading a whole bunch of books, and they're forgetting that during the week there's certain things we're supposed to be doing, and those are the basics, right? So we're going to talk about that tonight. But I am going to introduce you to a web tool that I believe could make a huge difference between when you sample Spark and share your 30-second story and create interest, and when you have an appointment. I believe it's a tool that could help you tremendously, okay? It's not the only tool, but it is one that I really have been trying to use with my new distributors, because it's given them a way to share the message with confidence. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to bring you to it through our website. The other thing I want to, we're going to talk about that later, so we're going to move in a couple of sections tonight. So I'm going to talk about a tool tonight called Champions Network. Could you raise your hand just so that we have your knowledge and your experience if you are actively using Champions Network? Okay, a few of you, okay? A lot, a little?
A little.
A little, okay? And that's exciting that no one else is using it. And there's a reason for that, most likely. I'm not teaching on it, okay? So that's one thing that I wanted you to know is, yes, we rolled it out a while back. Danny McDaniel rolled it out, but I want to teach on it tonight and really think about this. It's really easy to learn, and you could teach new people on it right away. You could gather your team members and say, hey, this is a tool that's exactly in our success system. It's right in line with our success system, but I believe it's going to help you, and you can gather them up, okay? Because that's what's exciting about it. Okay, so let me just give you some background on Champion Network if you're not familiar with it. It is, first of all, it's social networking just for AdvoCare distributors. So how many of you go on Facebook sometimes to find out when meetings are? Okay, raise your hand, you check it out. Okay, how many of you get distracted when you're on there? Probably 100%, right? You start looking at other things. And we want you to build a business that will literally change the direction of your life financially. So for those of you that I'm talking to you tonight about focus. I'm talking to you about taking the time you have and doing the right things with it. And so we want to talk to you about Facebook and the difference between going on Facebook to find meetings or going on Champions Network to find meetings. It's just a great place for you to go that you know, you just dedicate a few minutes a day, go on there, and then you'll know what's happening with your organization and around the nation. So it's exciting for that. That's one thing it's really exciting for. I'll show you how to do it. What I'm going to focus on tonight, though, is the marketing side of it, because there is a side to Champions Network where you can use it as a marketing tool, as a way to expose people to AdvoCare. Okay, now we already know that workwithchampions.com is great. There's a lot on there. So you have to be pretty specific when you send someone to it, or send them a portion of it or whatever, but it's a great tool. You don't have to not use workwithchampions.com. It's an amazing tool. You know that your AdvoCare website has great things in it. Champions Network, when you see it tonight, I think you're just going to love the fact that you can do things very quickly and then move on to something else where you know, I just put in a few minutes that could pay me forever, okay? And that's why I want to talk to you about it. So I have my team website up, and the reason for that is because I have a link. So I just wanted to show you where that was. So on our team website, anybody that brought computers, I know I sent that out in the email, you can open up your computer if you want, that way it's close to you and you can get interactive. That was the purpose of asking you to do that, so please feel free to do that. Okay, so here's teambelief.biz. I click on Join Champions Network, it's just a link. It's one of my tabs, okay? And this is what we would do. We would just go ahead and go here, and there's a great explanation of what happens with Champions Network, okay? It helps you to connect with your team, and this is all about sharing files and being able to find out when the meetings are and all that. There's motivational stuff on there, but this is the part I want to focus on. Marketing your business. It's only $2 a month, okay? So the cost is not going to break anybody, but I do want you to know you're paying $2 a month. It's worth $2 a minute, I think. But when you enroll in this, you're going to have your own website, and it's very customizable, okay? And there's a lot of things that you're going to have access to. Okay, so if you decided like right now to join before you even leave tonight, or if you have already joined because I sent that email out and you're ready to open this up, that's great. Otherwise, when you go home tonight, you could do this. And you just click on there. But just so you know, there is a code, Champions22, Champion 22. So you can't just tell somebody, just go sign up for Champions Network. Walk a new person through this. Pull up this page, and if you do that, they're going to do it for someone else too, okay? So I wanted you to see how this works. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and open up my page. Okay, so this is my Champions Network page, and I'm going to get the view just a little bit bigger here and give you an idea of what happens once you've joined. Okay? All right, so here it is. And this is just part of it, okay? So now this is the back office. This is the part where if I wanted to go in there today, I could look and say, oh my gosh, look, Tuesday night, Dr. Miller is going to be in Dallas. So, and Danny and Diana who posted this, they also posted the flyer. Now, I can take that, I can share it. Let me show you something. If you've got a team member, I hit share. I can Facebook them, I can put it on Twitter, I can email them, that easily, okay? So we don't have to post that on our public website, because then if you think about Facebook, and you took every single appropriate meeting that's good for like 2 people that you know, and you just post it publicly, you're constantly spewing AdvoCare all over your Facebook. But if you know 2 distributors or 2 friends or a customer in Dallas, and you took this and just individually shared it with her with a personal note and maybe a follow-up phone call, or the other way around, see how effective it is? So it's really amazing. Now that, there's also things like new videos that are posted. Look at this. Kerry Robertson on the other side of Houston. There's a meeting on April 10th. Okay, you might have somebody that lives on the north end, and you just know that, oh man, I'm going to put that on my calendar, I'm going to meet them up there, but you've got the flyer right there. And of course, Andy and I have posted our Champions Saturday is there, and our Houston training. So this is where you're just finding out what's going on, okay? But what I want to do, I'm not going to walk you through some of this, and here's why. I want you to take some time to learn some of this along the way, but, and there's great stuff in here, and Danny and Diane have purposefully put training videos, etc., but this is the page I want you to see. It's called your marketing page, okay? And this is where we're going to learn how to use this tool to share with other people. So let me give you some examples of what I know happens sometimes. You're talking to somebody and you're telling them about AdvoCare, and then they want to know more, and you kind of get stuck, or you don't know what to do, or you tell them everything you can right then, and you feel like I never can get the appointment. You know, and has anyone been there or is still there? Okay, so this is just one option. Let's say instead you make sure that you have gotten that spark in their body. Sometimes we're talking to people and we're forgetting the basics, the fundamentals of AdvoCare. Just that spark sample. This isn't a basic training. You guys have all hit silver, so I know you know this. But remember, check yourselves on that. Am I talking, or have I even said, hey, let me make you this drink. You'll love how you feel. What flavor sounds better to you? And gotten a drink in their body, right? You still are telling your 30-second story, right? 30 seconds. When you're first talking to somebody, it's not about the big presentation. When you're first talking to somebody, it's not even about your 2-minute story. Remember, your 2-minute story is after somebody wants to know more. They're interested. They're asking you, tell me more about that. And then that 2-minute story becomes natural. It comes out of you. But the third, I'm talking about creating interest. I'm talking about prospects. I'm talking about getting out there and, you know, sometimes people are like, how do I talk to 10 people a day? Well, this would be a way to think about it. It's not about 10 presentations. It's about my 30-second story, create interest, a spark sample, right? Y'all with me? Mm-hmm. Okay, now here's Champions Network. They want to know more. And you slow down to speed up. You go, you know what? Here, let me send you my website, and you can check this thing out, and I'll follow up with you later, see what you thought of the spark. And immediately you're sending them to this Champions Network. So I'm going to show you how that works, okay? I'm going to show you how that works. We not only have this back office where we can create things, but we have a public view. So this is a public view of Champions Network. And when, let's say I was talking to Jason, and we did all that, and then he said, well, do you have a website I can look at? And I send him to this, okay? So look what I have on here. I have a little story. I have Drew Brees. I have our testimony. I have something about the 24-day challenge. I don't know why that's there again. I think I was just playing around. And I have informed choice, okay? Now that's because when I talked to Jason, he was an NCAA ball player. That's how old he is. And he's interested in this thing. But he's interested in money, so I put some basic things on there and that, okay? And see what happens. Let's just pretend that he liked what he saw. What if he's a self-starter? Okay, we've got some independent people. He is, I have a button for Shop Now. Look at that. Goes right to my AdvoCare site. Isn't that awesome? It's totally awesome. Okay? Now, let's go backwards. I'm just going to keep going. What if he, you know, gets really interested, calls me up. I'm like, well, he's ready, he wants to do it. Like, click on Join My Team button. It goes to, look where it goes. Right to the distributor page. Isn't that awesome? It's so amazing what we can do with this thing. What if he just decides he's going to email me? What if this is my signature on my email? Okay? What if it's on, you know, what if it's other places where I don't even know the person, but this is where they go and they like what they see? It shows, they can send me a note. Okay? It's all right there. Now, I know that looks fantastic and all, but it's not, we're not done. Okay, we're not done. Here, we're going to go do this. Watch this. I am talking to somebody, and, well, I'm going to back up. let's say I have a prospect, okay, and she's my friend from Tennessee, and I know something about her. Let's say, what do we know about her? Somebody tell me some kind of,
She wants to lose weight.
nope, I want money, I'm talking money.
She's a teacher.
She's a teacher. Okay, so I go to Todd and Shannon, now I'm in my marketing, I'm in my own office right now, my marketing page. Todd and Shannon Barble. Shannon is a teacher, right? So, what I'm gonna do is I might email her this video, okay? So let's do that, okay? Someone give me any, well, let's do it up here. BelieveInOne@me.com, okay? Subject. I'm not gonna keep that as, I'm probably gonna put something else in there, but I'm just for speed, I'm gonna go like this. Okay, what's her name?
Liz.
Liz. Check out this teacher's story. She reminds me of you. Let's talk. You know, love Karen. Okay, so who knows? I'm just giving you an example, right? Not a lot, not, you know, there's 4 ways to get started, and you can, it's two, if you go from 0 to $4.99, it's 20%. How many of you have written emails where you told them all about AdvoCare and all the options? I used to do that too, because I thought the more the better. But instead we do it like this. Now watch. Here's Karen's email. And she got that. Right there. And there's the link. And she clicks on it. So she's in Tennessee, and this is happening. And there's the video. Okay? And she watches it. And where did she land? On my page. You see? Isn't that amazing?
So that's the difference between just doing champions.
Bingo!
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
You see what happens? Now, this is so great, because now she might watch that and she's on my page. And all of that's available to her, okay? All right, the only reason you're seeing this is because I have a lot of doubt,
Okay.
just so you know.
Makes sense.
Okay, just so you know, yeah, I played with this today to teach you, and I realized that because I have a lot of doubt. So we're gonna go back to marketing. Now I'm gonna show you something even greater, okay? Give me an example, somebody give me an example of a prospect that you might do your 30-second story with and spark. Tell me a little bit about a person. Give me some basics.
College athlete,
College athlete,
going to school,
going to school,
needs extra money.
needs extra money. Okay, so I am going to go to business opportunity stories. Okay, and I am going to click on Tyler DeBerry. Now, I am going to hit this button right here. It says pin to my page. Watch this. Pinned. Okay, so now I'm going to look. And you remember where Drew Brees was? Now Tyler's there. Okay? So I've got Tyler, I've got Drew Brees, I've got our story. Look, this one shouldn't be here, so I'm going to just hit unpin. So that one's gone. I'm going to go ahead and refresh it. And we've got informed choice. Okay? See how long that took? Okay, so now we're going to take that scenario. I'm talking to this college athlete. I ask him some questions. I tell my 30-second story, sample him a spark, say, hey, I'd love to tell you more about it. And he says, I got to go to class. Do you have something I can check out? And you go, sure. And you give him the website, and then you open up your own website, and you customize it real fast in 1 minute. So when he opens that thing up, it matches him and his life. Isn't that amazing? It's totally awesome. It's underused. It's, you know, I'm taking the hit for that because I really and truly know that in this business, whatever you teach, people will use. And right now, it's really important that we go ahead and simplify things. You know, my daughter's already using this. and really getting a lot of success and feeling real comfortable. And so, you know, do we want to start all of our prospecting by emailing people videos? No. So always remember, anything I teach you, you have to remember the success system. I'm teaching you how to use this, but you've always got to remember that you got to use it appropriately. Okay? So you got to keep in mind the basics. But this sure helps you not over talk, and it's really amazing when you can customize it so easily. Now, you'd have to play around with it a little bit more to really see all that you have available to you, but just so you know the basics, let's look at them together. Okay, we're going to zoom in here so we can see them a little bit better. Okay, so we have product testimonies. Okay, so you can see that there's a lot of choices here that have been put up here, so that you can be extremely, extremely relevant with who you're sharing these testimonies with, okay? You like what you see there? Science behind the products. You know what? Sometimes you're going to talk to somebody who you really feel like they might be interested, but you really want to make sure there's one of those clips on there, because you just know that'll make a difference. And you don't have to be doing a lot of talking. You can really just look through that. About Advocare. Look at all this. Now, just so you know, here, this is really awesome. Check this out.
This is Danny McDaniel, and I've got some exciting news for you today. You know, throughout our history in Advocare, we've always said the number one reason people fail in any business or endeavor is lack of communication. And we've got the answer for that. In fact, in February at Success Goal, we launched the all-new Champions Network, which is the most sophisticated social networking platform you have ever laid your eyes on, and it is specifically for Advocare distributors. And here's the purpose of the Champions Network. It is for you to be in the loop and in the know of everything that's going on in the world of Advocare, so you can receive all communications, so that you'll know when every webinar is taking place, where every meeting is taking place, where every training is taking place, what's going on in the world of Advocare. It's all in a one-stop shop at your fingertips, and it's called the Champions Network. If you're a working Advocare distributor, you do not want to not be on the Champions Network. So make sure that you go to www.motive8.com and make sure that you type in your passcode, which is Champions22, and get enrolled in the Champions Network, because that is the very thing that you and I both need to stay in proper communications to be able to really function in building your marketing organization. And in fact, the Champions Network has just launched a new calendar which features so many things. From you can type in someone's zip code anywhere in America and find out where meetings are, or webinars, or anything is going on, anywhere from 5 miles to 100-mile range from that specific zip code. You can find any event.
Okay, so, you know, what I want to talk to you about with this video is, originally we launched it, and that's a great video, and we can launch that again. We can send it out to our team members, but unless we're doing this, it's just only a very big self-starter is going to grab this thing and run with it. So wouldn't that be a great training for you to just grab your teams and say, let me show you a few things. Look how this could make a difference. And then if you have a story or two, you know, about how it's made a difference for you, that's going to help too. There are business opportunity stories, so you can find, you know, anybody that you really want to share. And again, we just did an example of that. You can see how easy it is to find somebody that matches who you're going to send to there. You know, my daughter Taylor, there's a great new video. His name is Tanner, and I can't remember his wife's name, but they just got out of college. I had her make sure that she was pinning that, because of where she is in her life and who she's speaking to, you know, so you can begin to do the same thing. Commercials, these are kind of fun sometimes, you know, if you're talking to certain people and you just say, check this out, that could be the initial email, and then when you follow up, you make sure you customize that page for that person, okay? Making sense? Any questions? Yes?
So the first one you showed, you didn't have them going to the page, you just actually sent that link for that commercial or that little
Right, that
video
one
to.
Yep. And that's just one technique. That might be for somebody that's far away and you haven't gotten this face-to-face. But if I can be face-to-face, it's a whole lot more effective to be face-to-face and to share a little bit of my 30-second story, sample them Spark, and then send them to the customizable page, okay? Now, I remember AdvoCare is about stories. So you want to be relevant with the stories and don't start posting 3 scientists, and remember what moves people into action. And so I'm just cautioning you so you don't have a strand of 15 of those, just a few, most relevant stories. But that other way of emailing is what if someone's out of town? And that's just a quick way to create interest. It's almost like just a little snippet that they go, wow. You have a friend in Dallas and you send them a Jason Witten commercial and just say, hey, I'm thinking of you. I want to show you more about this. Remember who you're thinking of and why. You can say that, and then you just have to make sure you're following up, okay? And sometimes the other great thing to do is, we always used to send packets in the mail. It's still important to do that. You never want technology to replace the system. So if you're starting with long distance and you're able to touch them effectively, throw a Spark packet and magazine in the mail at the same time, because by the time you've done this follow-up and show them a little bit, they've got that in their hands. Okay, so you always want to remember the system.
Karen, what was you said something about you could plug in your zip code and it would pull up. Where's that at?
That's the calendar, okay, so that's another tab, it's right here. Okay, and again, this is one of those things where you've got a couple of options when it comes to calendars, because AdvoCare has a calendar and they're getting better. There's a lot of improvements with AdvoCare's site, and we're going to talk about AdvoCare's site tonight also. But this is the calendar that they're talking about. And again, I'm not going to teach and train on some of this because it's just for time's sake tonight. Now, let me show you something else, just real quick, but you can access your AdvoCare back office from this site too. So you can be in work mode at the same time, okay? Does that make sense? You love it? Who said that?
Christina.
It's great.
It is.
It's absolutely great. Anybody else have any questions about Champions Network or suggestions if you've been using it? Yes?
Can you change your name on there?
Where it says Andy and Karen at the top.
Yeah,
Yes,
what
you
happened
can.
is you probably signed up a long time ago and picked a
Right at the
name.
beginning.
Yeah,
And
and
they're
then
like,
like,
oh, that's not
yeah. I'm not an expert on all the communication, but what I believe you do is you're gonna go in here and there's a way to contact the guys that put this together. Okay, so yeah, they used to not be able to change it, but I think they can. But I'm glad you said that, because when you go in and it says to choose a name, notice that we just chose Andy and Karen, because it would make sense. So don't get fancy, don't pick a nickname, because you're really wanting people to know who you are. So keep it really simple, because it is hard to change. This is a big system and 2 guys are running it.
Yeah, I think it asked for like a user ID, so initially we thought, oh, it can just be an email or something, and
Right.
then his email popped up.
Right, right. So when you're signing up and it asks for that, then thank you for saying that.
I just changed mine recently and it allowed me to do it myself.
You can't do it yourself now?
No.
See, they're improving even Champions
Because I
Network all
had
the
just
time.
my name, I wasn't thinking, and then I changed it and said Steve and like that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good.
Oh, cool.
Okay, other questions about Champions Network? Yes?
All the videos and stuff, they're all gonna be on there, right, when we sign in, or can we
Yes.
add different videos if
No.
there's new ones?
Well, what'll happen is when you go to this marketing page, okay, so you're logged in and you're in the marketing side of this. This is your workbook that you're gonna put together things. So every single video is all the way in here for you already. And Danny and Diane, who put this together, and they hired somebody, great guys that put this together, they're constantly adding to it. So it's improving all the time, they're adding more things, but the cool thing is it's all approved by AdvoCare. The other thing is, as much as I love YouTube, think about what happens when somebody looks at a YouTube clip. What happens next?
Threads.
Oh, look, I mean, just so much stuff on there. So the more we can go, here, check this out, and doesn't it look professional? Okay? And so there's just so many benefits to this, and I just want you guys as a group to just kind of like say, we are gonna be the ones that move this out into the groups, and we're gonna add this, and notice that, you know, for a while, you know, I'm always pointing inward, but for a while, we had it on our website, and we had it on our Saturday trainings, but we just said, this is something to go enroll in and use. But look how fast that training was, and it makes total sense. I know some of you are gonna use it immediately. And here's the one thing I wanna encourage you on. Don't get bored with it. You know, one of the things that sometimes happens in Avocare is we get bored with the basics. And so this is one of those things that you can be using for the next 15, 20 years, except for whatever advances they make. So what, you know, let's keep doing it after we start, and keep remembering to bring it to the next person. But we did make it easy by putting it on our tab on our team site. Are we good? All right. All right.